The Weeknd has produced some incredible music videos throughout his career as an artist. And for his latest album, After Hours, we arguably got to witness some of the most engaging and creative music videos that he's put out to date. In this video, I'm going to break down the trilogy of live performance videos that he put out for the songs Alone Again, In Your Eyes, and Faith, all of which showcase some absolutely incredible filmmaking techniques. Each of these videos are actually all interconnected in certain ways. They all use the same subway aesthetic location, they're all presented as one-take videos, they're all shot on film, and they all focus predominantly on dynamic lighting and camera choreography throughout. So what is it that makes these videos so special? Well, let's get started by taking a look at Alone Again. As the first video that Abel put out in this trilogy, we're slowly introduced to the subway aesthetic that serves as the primary setting across all of these videos. Both Abel and the camera appear to be stood on top of a dolly, and we start to slowly track towards the back of the subway set. I did think this was a real location when I first watched this video, but it turns out it's actually a set that the director Mika Bickham's team built within a studio space. Once Abel begins his walk onto this set, the dynamic lighting then starts to reveal more details about this space. The sterile white tiles, the gridded vents above and on the side of the walls. And the centerpiece of all this, a flat rectangular wall of dynamically moving light and color. There's so much clever usage of light in this video. The play of fade up and out, almost to complete darkness, and all in time with the beat of the track, helps captivate us into the world that's being built here. And the brooding quality that Abel is trying to convey to us in this video. The camera movement is also excellent, with slow but dynamic steadicam moves arcing around the space and Abel. What I like about the camera movement is that it choreographs perfectly with Abel's performance and his interaction towards and away from the camera. We sometimes pull back to reveal him as a small figure in this huge space, and other times we come in close to hold on a low angle medium close-up. Around the 3-minute mark, Abel steps back onto the dolly and we track forwards to deliver him directly in front of the back rectangular wall, before we track back to leave him again, a tiny silhouetted object in this monochromatic void. His words of "I don't know if I can be alone again" echoing out with vulnerability as the lights fade out to complete darkness. This video really speaks to how skillful the creative ideas in this trilogy really are, and a masterclass for how to squeeze the most out of what can be done in a single location. We start with what looks like the subway set that we saw in the previous video, but Abel quickly appears, filling the back rectangular wall. What's genius about this is that it really plays with our perceptions as to the parameters of what this back wall can actually be. In the previous video, we learned that it could dynamically blast out white light, and also it could change its color to a red hue. But now it also seems like it can act as a cinema screen, projecting video onto the front of it. But as the chorus kicks in, we see the set break away from itself to reveal Abel in another version of the set, but now he's a giant within it. And as the middle 8 section kicks in, we track straight through this set, and now we're back in the full-size original subway set. From analyzing this video closely, I actually believe that they moved this second miniature set closer and further away from the back wall. As a few moments before the middle 8 kicks in, we can see the illusion being broken and we can see the original walls in the background. I also learned from behind the scenes interviews that the film stock actually jammed up during their first take of these 360 rotations when Abel is sat in the miniature set, but they quickly solved this issue for their second take. This is a much more complex video than the last one, with many moving pieces and position changes for Abel and Kenny G to get spot on, or else the whole thing falls apart. And it's amazing that we as the viewer get to see the progression in creative ideas as we move from session to session, making us even more captivated than we already were for what's yet to come. This final performance session is definitely my favorite of the three. Not only because it was the first one that I saw, but in my opinion, it's the video that most closely connects to the tone of the song itself. Clever camera tricks like in the previous video are not a focus here. Essentially, it's a dynamic performance video with sweeping camera moves and on-point lighting cues that trigger throughout the whole song, from flickering overhead lights to instant hue shifts that create red color washes. I also noticed that the color of the main white light isn't so white anymore, as it's taken on a greener tint. As we make our way to the outro of the song, all the lights in the space fade away and a single blue light source turns on. But the actual source itself is coming through the grid in the ceiling. So we get these really nice gobo patterns of light being broken up by the grid itself. One of the most mesmerizing elements to this particular video occurs at the 1:18 mark, when the set turns red for the first time, triggering bloodlight liquid to spurt out from the wall vents. What's absolutely breathtaking about this is that for the last 2 videos, we've been taught the language of how this set works, about what is and is not possible possible and about what can and cannot happen. The vents themselves have been there the whole time, and for many viewers, they will have just perceived them as an additional set design element to help carry forward the subway aesthetic. But the fact that we're 3 videos in, and out of nowhere this blood just splashes down into the space and continues to ooze down the wall during the duration of the song. And at least for me, this had the effect of making me sit up in my seat and making me pay way closer attention to what's going on. I want to quickly share a few interesting facts about all of these videos. All 3 were shot during a 6-hour day, including all the set changes that needed to take place for each video, which is probably why they shot this particular video last, because it would have taken absolutely ages to mop up all the blood on the floor. They only ran through the blocking that Abel had to do for each video once, and then they only did 2 real takes per video. And each video was truly shot as a real one-take video with no hidden cuts anywhere. To conclude, this performance session trilogy is a masterclass in developing an overarching theme and style that runs across multiple videos. Each video feels connected but distinct from the next, because they allow what the song calls for to translate across all the potential elements that they built into the set and lighting design. What the director Mika Bickham says in an interview with Forbes feels so true to me, that the set wasn't just a clever use of LED technology for the sake of it. And for me, all these videos never felt like they were anywhere near close to abusing this technology. They didn't do dynamic lighting elements just because it looked cool. They instead designed them to work in harmony with the camera moves, Abel's performance within the space, and the very dark, self-loathing nature to the stories that he's telling us within these tracks and within the whole After Hours album experience. If you haven't watched these videos yet, do yourself a favor and check out the links that I've left to each one in my description box below. And if you want to check out more of my music video breakdowns, you can check out this other video on my channel right here where I go through 5 of the best music videos ever made. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.